Terry has 2 more quarters than dimes. In all, he has $6.80. How many of each kind of coin does he have? In order to solve this problem, we'll have to make 2 equations. The first one represents the amount of quarters we have. And the second one represents the total value of the quarters and dimes. Okay, in this problem, we're being told that there are 2 more quarters than dimes, meaning that there are more quarters than dimes. And to be exact, there are 2 more quarters than dimes. So, our first equation will be Q for quarters is equal to D, which is for the dimes, plus 2. The quarters is equal to the dimes plus 2. Okay. Now we have to make an equation which represents the total value of all the coins. So we'll write 0.25Q because a quarter is 0.25 cents. And when we add the quarters and the dimes, which is 10 cents, we get $6.80. So both of these equations say that there are 2 more quarters than dimes, and in all, when you add the quarters and the dimes, you'll get $6.80. Now, if you notice, the first equation also tells the value of Q. And we can use that for the second equation to solve this problem. Now all we need to do is substitute D plus 2 for Q in the second equation. So wherever there's a Q in the second equation, we put D plus 2 in place, or replace it with D plus 2. So we have 0.25 Q. And we're going to replace this Q with D plus 2. And we're going to write everything as it. Now we have to solve. 0.2525 times D over here is 0.25D. 0.25 times 2 is equal to 0.50. And I'll just write the rest as is. Okay, now we have to add or subtract like terms. Right here, 0.25D and positive 0.10D are like terms. But positive 0.50 and positive 6.80 are like terms. So let's add 0.25D and 0.50 10D. So when we add them together, it'll give us 0.35D. Now we have to bring 0.50 onto the other side of the equation. So since we're adding right here, we're going to subtract to bring it to the other side of the equation. And whatever we do on one side of the equation, we have to do in the other. So we'll also subtract 0.50 in this side. And these two will cancel out. Okay, now that the left side is solved, all we have to do is solve the right side. 6.80 minus 0.50 is equal to 6.30. Okay. Now we have to divide 0.35 on both sides of the equation. Here, these two get cancelled out. And all we have left is D. We have to drop down the equal sign. Now we have 6.30 divided by 0.35. And when we divide them both, we will get D is equal to 18. Now that we got the amount of dimes we have to figure out the number of quarters we have. So if we look back at the equations we made, you'll notice that we wrote an equation and it was Q is equal to D plus 2, meaning that the amount of quarters is equal to the amount of dimes plus 2. So if we plug in the amount of dimes we have, which is 18 plus 2, we know that 18 plus 2 is equal to 20. So we'll write Q is equal to 20, meaning that there are 20 quarters. And that is the answer to this question.